There was this, the idea of chaste is for somebody to be totally dedicated sexually to God. And not to have, to be chaste is to, as a matter of fact, in medieval times, they had metal panties. And they would have locks on the panties. And it was called a chastity belt. And so chaste is this idea that, nobody can touch you, you're dedicated to God. And so the chaste wife wins over the unbelieving husband and just pretty much says if you're dedicated to him and you just are just totally sexually dedicated to him, you just lift him up and think positive thoughts and pray constantly, then that will win him over. He will have different behavior. And that is what's taught as Christian women, you know what I mean? So do you think that promotes men cheating, or do you think it's more so just having the position in the church and having all these people look up to you that stops you from showing who you are sexually?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it more so makes cheating makes you feel like you're forced to accept what's going on to the point where it becomes a norm for you. A lot of we got to remember a lot of our parents, our grandparents, they didn't work. A lot of the grandmothers didn't work, so they really didn't know how to do much without the man. So a lot of times they would have no choice but to accept it because, like, he the breadwinner. We have nothing else.
What the fuck don't do?
Yeah, back then, the side piece from her place, McDever stayed right around the corner.
Right. Come on.
He knew nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knew their place, and Granddaddy took care of both families.
What you say? Everybody knew their place?
They place.
Everybody knew their place. So this indicates that there is somehow a role of respectability to being a side piece or a mistress. Like, there's rules to this. You know what I'm saying? So is there, do you see that as an ethical position to take if you are, say, the side piece?
No. I'm gonna just speak on myself. Okay, so I'm single. I'm free. It's all get out. Nobody but my children and whoever else God involved me, whatever you want to say. But if a man comes to me and he married and you wanna do whatever, I say, is your wife cool with it? You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't even put myself out there, but even if it would be a female and they say, what's up? Is your husband okay with that? If they not, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's a new spin.
I can't do it. But if they down, hey.
So you're saying that deals with permission. So you're saying that a person can actually give somebody permission. Is that what people are doing?
Yeah, sometimes. I think now people are becoming more open with their sexuality. And it's pros and cons to that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like T.I. Tiny.
T.I. Tiny. Or like, everybody talking about Lil Nas X now.
What's going on with Lil Nas X?
He made the video with, and it was like him in hell.
Where he descends down into hell on a stripper pole and starts giving the devil a lap dance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Lil Nas X, the same one that was go down road, the one that all of the kids like, the one that all of the little 3-year-old and 4-year-old kids like. So now they're loving Lil Nas. So Lil Nas X.
Right.
So now Lil Nas X just have a new video where he's in drag, the whole video. He dies, he's getting ready to go to heaven, and God changes God's mind, I guess, and he then descends down into a stripper pole and starts giving the devil a lap dance, then snaps the devil's neck, takes the devil's horns, and becomes the devil. As the climax, now he's the king of hell. What's the message?
His message was to, from what I saw, The
It was a
message
message.
was, yeah, the reason behind the video was because he felt like Christians stroke homosexuality down, homosexual stroke, like you're going to hell, you're going to hell. So he basically was saying, if I'm going to go to hell,
Oh.
then basically I'm going to make the best of it.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
it was
deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. I didn't know that. So pretty much, Lil Nas X is making a critique against the church.
Right.
Oh, wow. So he's so I'm gonna that. But any response to that? I'm fine. Because to me, there's a lot of truth to it, though.
I respect it.
There's a lot of truth to it. And I, for one, I do a lot of visual protest, as I call it.
Right.
There's a lot of, for shock value to add to the disturbance of the inertia and the acceptance of the status quo and the acculturation to the toxic norm. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Leandra Johnson.
shout out to Leandra Johnson. And so since we have to do things visually that make a point and shock people, that was definitely a move.
It was a move.
That was a move.
And I didn't agree with the image as a whole, but his message behind it, I respect his message behind it.
So now, in order for the message to, and see, this is something I'm faced with as well. In order for the message to become louder than the shock value, you have to follow up on that. Like, he has to have conversation about it. He has to, instead of taking this position of I ain't none of y'all cheer role model.
Yeah.
Like, look, dude, you was that role model when you was getting all of that money. Come on, you was that role model when you was the whole town road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't just neglect the people at this point. You're gonna have to follow that up with, hey, this is the reason why I did it. And you don't have to go on a strong campaign of education and awareness. Now that you've gotten our attention, come on. Go. So, do you think that the mistress, do you think that for people in leadership, particularly, let's say religious leadership, where it's restricted, because even with Lil Nas X, it's restricted what he can do because of his audience. As a religious leader, a spiritual leader, many times, and you know this because you're a spiritual leader, you're a yoga, comedic yoga instructor, guru, and you are a spiritual leader. You teach people to align their bodies with their, in like their spirits. So, do you think that there is a certain restriction that you have to abide by when you're in the public eye? And then, if so, how do you offset that? Because we see a lot of spiritual leaders, they offset that in a lot of different ways. They offset it sexually. You know what I mean? It comes out a different way. So how do you offset being a spiritual leader and taking on the responsibility of, okay, I'm going to be what y'all expect me to be?
No, I don't do that.
You don't do that?
I just be myself. I treat people the way I want to be treated. And I have had to embed into my mind that everybody not gonna like me, everybody not gonna vibe with me. So, and that's fine. Who comes my way is supposed to come to me. If they ain't no good, they'll go away. I don't be trying to impress nobody. I just be myself.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So what if you pay for the role though? Like, you gotta think about it. You have positions, these pastoral positions, these guru positions. People paying you 6 figures and 7 figures to, not that should be a criteria, you know what I mean?
Right.
But if they're paying you a lot of money to fulfill this role, do you think that that plays into the part where we see all of these spiritual leaders and all of these gurus and all of these people kind of having a double life?
I think with a lot of the preachers, one, I think that a lot of us now, we pay too much attention to somebody, to other people's business.
Come on.
Hey, we back up.
Yeah, I think we pay too much attention to it. I feel like that shouldn't be, we shouldn't necessarily judge a person as a whole by that. So I feel, and if they do, if that's the lifestyle that y'all choose to live and it becomes open, or honestly,
because it always becomes open. That's the thing. It's always, even if it's at your demise, or you know what I mean,
right.
or it's
for your elevation.
elevation is going to come in open. So you're saying,
Just educate people on that.
yeah,
And don't, some people in the church don't feel like you have to talk down about it.
Right.
You know, you live it.
right.
You know, just, be real about what you do.
It's hard. It's hard though. It's hard though when you're in a position of spiritual leadership, and the people. Here's the thing: there are 3 aspects to relationships. You know, operational, spiritual, and social. And we, in every relationship, there is this expectation of what you're going to provide for me in each of them. We don't talk about them, so they're unspoken expectations. However, when you are in a position of leadership, the unspoken expectation for you to make socially, for you to make that group of people that follow you look a certain way is very much enforced. And so you either hide who you are or totally dichotomize yourself from who you are, or cut yourself up and just not be that person for the sake of the group.
Come on, wait. This takes it back to your whole topic of people being cheated on. You know what I'm saying? And accepting it because you don't be yourself anymore.
That's deep.
You turn into what that person is.
Yeah, that's deep. In relationships, you do though. The two become one.
Yeah.
So you turn
But you
into
have to
who
remember who
you
you
are.
are. You have to remember who you are, and they have to remember who you are, who they are. You be 2 separate people, but come together as one.
Right. And see, with so much cheating and all that happening, I know that it's the ego involved, and there's also health involved. But we should be, at this point, we should be more open about it.
Yeah.
Like we should be able to, you know what I'm saying? It's 2021.
Right.
We should be able to be in relationship, and our egos not be so fragile.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean?
Still working on it. We working
It's
on it.
because here's the thing, and I'm not blaming anything on the victim. I promise you, I'm not. But here's the thing: if say a man or even a woman, let's flip it. Let's say if Sister Derrick Jackson, I forgot her name, if she were to be able to come to him and say, "Sweetheart, I've had an indiscrepancy. I've slept with someone such and such, just the pressures of the marriage and da-da-da-da-da. This is just what I did. I don't know why I'm coping like this, but, we need to talk about it." If she's able to do that and do it in safe space and him not say, "Oh, you make me look bad. You know what I mean?" I think she should be able to provide him that same. Now, I don't know the inside of their relationship,
Right.
but I'm saying that we as couples should be able to be more open and honest about who we are and bring our whole selves to the table.
Yeah,
Come on.
I agree.
Yeah. So, bottom line, what do you guys think? Is cheating a reason to leave?
If you feel like it's gonna take you some time to get over the situation, then take your time. I hate when people put themselves. I've done this before. Put myself in a situation thinking, okay, it's gonna get better with time for us together. And a lot of times, man, y'all just gonna get annoyed with one another. Because you're gonna have to keep hearing it over and over again. The smallest argument's gonna turn into that argument 3 months ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's gonna make the situation worse.
If the core of it is not taken care of.
Right. So
Yes.
first, I feel like, you have to love another person in their own love language as well.
That's deep.
A lot of us, we love people from what we know love is, but like me, I'm a type of person who some people might find going to Ruth Chris is like a romantic date. I'm the type, you fix me a bowl of my favorite cereal, which is Raisin Bran.
Okay, pretty good now.
You fix me a bowl
The
of
crunchy kind or the regular Raisin Bran?
bowl.
Both. Mix them.
I was raised by my great grandma, so I'm old school. But
Okay. That's what's up though. I feel you. Like, right.
because me, I don't take much. You fix me a bowl of cereal and turn on the cartoons with me.
I
And
can't.
that's romantic for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
So I think we have to learn that, and if that's what people like, have to accept the fact that that's what they like. Now I need to make a decision. Do I want to continue to do this, or you know what I'm saying? Because maybe this is what I like.
Right.
Or am I just gonna leave it alone? And that's okay too. And I think when people get that type of mindset, people will be more comfortable Now, just like when you talk about people, you know, like when you get on the subject of HIV and AIDS. And a lot of people don't like to tell people, you know, their status, but it's because of how society looks at them. So once society changes its mind on it, which it's so funny to me how.
But see, this thing, you in saying that people, you don't tell people, you can't, because of the way society looks at it. You, of course, if you're having sex with somebody, you have a romantic relationship with somebody, you kiss them even.
Right.
You know, you owe it to them to tell them. But at what point?
I feel like as soon as you realize it's probably gonna get serious for either one of y'all, I think you should go ahead.
That's, you know, I've had friends that have that consideration, and the question is always the same. If they're in a large city, you know, it's more, okay, this is our whatever date, I think I'm going to say something. But if it's small city, brothers, they're a whole lot less, you know, open.
Right.
And so do you think that that's even a part of the reason why people stay? So that they don't, because there's so much out there.
Yeah, I think that plays a factor too. It's kind of like you get, like a lot of times with us, we go, it's easy to go back to it because you know what's going on.
Right.
I think
the devil we do know versus the devil we don't know.
Right. I think that's just how it is. You just feel like I already know what's going to go on with this. It's too much going on out there. And so let me just, because it could always be worse.
It could always be worse.
Yeah.
You know, and once you're comfortable, you're comfortable. Yeah, that comfort level. So there we go. When the last spin, then we were talking about the ethics, the morality of the side person. Do you think that it is a morality in the side person? Is there a code of conduct? You think it's like a rule, set of rules?
I think there used to be. And I think that when social media, people, you know what I'm saying? I think social media messed the game up in that area. But I definitely think it used to be. And I think it should be. I feel like once you accept that, if you know what you get yourself into, you should play the game. Like how
play the game how it go.
Yeah, play the game how it go.
Right. And I also have I agree, because I also have this idea that biblically, you know, you had concubines. And there was a particular role, even though in society now, because it's so shunned, the concubines don't work alongside the wife, but in a spiritual sense, in a psychological sense, they do. And whether that side person be a male or a female, you know, or a man or a woman, or whether it's the husband or the wife, all of it, because of the double standard, is shunned if the woman steps outside. Do you think that there is a heavier weight if it were, say, Sister Jackson, Miss Jackson? Do you think that he would be under the pressure to leave her in the same way that she's under the pressure to leave him?
Yeah.
You think it would be the same or worse?
I think it would be way worse for her. I know as a man, one thing about this, it don't take us one time to get out of her. So even if the pressure doesn't make him want to leave, but he's just gonna be hurt enough to want to leave. You know, it is a little different when we get to take our own medicine.
That is so true.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but
well, it's like we were talking about with the expectations of the relationship. You know, he can socially, because of the acceptance and promotion of promiscuity for men, then he can have a discretion. Even though he's a relationship guru, he can still be a man, and he's just, he's a dog because of what he said about other men that are doing it. But he can still be forgiven. Right. With her, I think that you're exactly right. It would be a lot harder, and thus not just her specifically, but all of the hers, you know, all of the women, all the Jada Pinkett's per se.
Yeah.
Because like she was absolutely crucified.
Right.
People are still looking sideways at Will.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, you know,
Yeah.
Tupac dodged the bullet. You know what I mean? I seen them kind of memes. You know what I mean? What?
That Tupac joke.
So, when Jada Pinkett did it was the kind of, the worst thing that could ever be done. When he did it, I think because he's always speaking against it, and that he has a baby with the lady outside, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he exploited his wife by going on the social media and making her say her side. I support him in a bonnet and all of this, and a black bonnet that she need to be sleeping in at night and not let nobody see.
Right.
All of this had to happen in order for it to be equal.
Right.
You know what I mean? All of that. He had to do all of those violations for it to be seen as, oh, he wrong. Jada, that one indiscretion that we know about, saying, okay, it was a hard time, we had already broke up. I mean, all this stuff, but it's still looked at as she's crucified.
Yeah.
So that just speaks to the double standard. Mm-hmm. So, Camelia, what do you think? I mean, is it, do you think that it's a nay or a yay?
It's cheating or leaving the lead?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it depends on the situation. If there is a couple and they have an agreement that, they can do what they choose as long as, it's respectful and the other person is okay with it.
Yeah.
That's okay. But however, if you're in a relationship and both of y'all we don't do this, like we are together and no one else is in a relationship, then if that's your agreement,
you need to honor your agreement.
right, you honor your agreement. Then I'll leave. That's the reason to leave.
Yeah.
If you have an agreement that there's no one else.
I got you. I got
Since you
you.
broke your agreement.
Yeah.
You broke agreement. I'm with it. That's what's up.
I think people too have to also realize that just about everybody have their own definition of respect. So just like she was saying, like if a husband and wife have that agreement within their own union, like this is what we do, we have limitations on this. I feel like if it works for them, why would it be a problem for anybody else?
Exactly. And see, this is why unspoken expectations need to become expectations. So, socially, we as a couple or a triple couple or a triple couple, a triad, whatever it is that we are, we need to make certain that the expectations, the unspoken expectations for how we want to be perceived socially, how this person is affecting us operationally, and then most important, the fulfillment of our purpose spiritually. So as long as those things are identified up front, then you'll be able to kind of handle anything.
Aww.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for having the conversation. Sex in the Church. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. And next week, we have a very, very special guest. So we want you to tune in. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace. All right.